This video is brought to you by the lovely sponsors below. Thank you so much for your support.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. My name is Nina from the Chaldea Gurus, and I know it's a bit weird for me to be starting, but this is more of a podcast about Musaki, kind of, sort of, and we are going to be going over our trip to Anime NYC. And the reason why I'm doing the introductions is I've been to New York for the last 13 summers of my life as a kid, so I've had the experience of the New York lifestyle since I was 13. But primarily, we want to know, this is Musaki's first time in New York. So, Musaki, the floor is yours.
Alright, so the biggest thing about New York is... Oh my god. Finally, Musaki has come to New York City!
I almost thought you were going to say back.
I was like, I never went. Like, this is the first time. I'll do it for next year if we go again.
Darn it. Here I thought I was going to be able to pick on you.
But no, it's definitely a lot bigger than I was expecting. A lot taller. All the buildings were effing huge. Or under construction. The under construction part feels like Michigan to me. It's like it was always construction going on somewhere, whether they want to rebuild a highway or they repairing the streets after it snows and all the salt damages the streets and potholes and all this other crap. Anyway, it was really fun. It was definitely weird the first night, and I remember you mentioned it, how like it was getting close to midnight and the stores were still open. Like,
now, we don't know if that's kind of a common thing. I don't remember if that was a common thing because, like I said, I wasn't really allowed out after 11 o'clock at night in New York and never without an adult. So we didn't go venturing down into the city afterwards. But I'm kind of always wondering if that's just around Times Square, especially since that's such a big tourist attraction.
That's probably what it is. Especially, yeah. I mean, the Joe's Pizza place is open at 3 a.m.
Oh, my, that's most pizza places. Oh, my gosh, pizza.
Not over here. There's only like one pizza place open that late, and it's of course it's called Hippies Pizza.
Hippies Pizza for hippies. I love it.
They have a pizza called the Daft Punk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a dessert pizza.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what did you think of Times Square? Seeing it
amazing.
Like not in the movies.
That was amazing. It was very weird to see all the places that I've like seen in movies or on like New Year's Eve. Is like up close and personal. It definitely felt like New York, like what I expect New York to be. It felt like it, but it felt brighter and whiter and a whole bunch of people. A lot of trash at night. I did expect the trash. I'm like, but then again, if it's a lot of people there, literally a lot of trash. And of course, the next morning is all gone. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that oh, I don't know. Like that's one thing that still kind of astounds me. Like I guess there's just so much trash that gets filtered out just because of how big the city is, and all of a sudden it's gone the next day, like it was never there.
Right. I'm saying like, whoa, streets are pretty clean. They're doing a good job. But no, New York was definitely a beautiful city at night, and the rustle and bustle was not lost on me. It was nice that also everything was within walking distance, just about. Like we didn't really need a Uber or a bus or anything until like we had to like leave or to get to our hotel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we did get to see a little bit of the, past Times Square, going to restaurants with friends, to this Korean barbecue. Didn't really get a chance to see the Empire State Building up close and personal. That's probably going to be another trip for if we go next year, but at least you had a pleasant experience your very first time around.
Definitely. Aside from a couple minor issues that popped up, but otherwise it was awesome just to be there, and awesome to be there more importantly with friends.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had ProjectXion joining us. He, as you will see in a video, which I won't know, which is going up at some point. It's already set to be uploaded, but he was our cameraman for that, and I don't know how he honestly did it, because he was doing the whole thing backwards, but it is the most professional interview of all.
I know this is something that this is our crowning achievement of interviews. I'll tell you that much. But no,
Yeah.
it was actually cool to see people in person. Like I've seen Shogun before. Had the pleasure of meeting him at a small con called Doki Dokkan, which is what you saw. I had the Doki Dokkan press badge or vendor badge. I still kept it because that was a fond memory for me. And and then finally get to meet Drew and Oni.
Oh, that was so great.
And meeting Sloan and like Ryoko. To see Ryoko in person, that was nice. And just we
also got to meet a few cosplayers like Chibi Tifa and even some of our sponsors and patrons and just overall fans, like Void Risen from our Discord was there.
Savior was there. G Shorter.
Morag. Mark.
Enjoying that wonderful pizza. Let's go in the video. Let's go in.
That's his picture on my phone, like for his phone number. I'm like, Morag, this is your picture. You're eating pizza here. He looks so happy.
He was. In the video clip, he was like, oh. He was just enjoying that cheese slice. Also, real quick, so glad to finally have New York pizza. Like, it was everything I ever wanted, and now it's going to have a hard time eating regular pizza here. I mean, I like our Michigan, our Detroit pizza. I like it. But it's like, I wish we had more places that did like New York style pizza over here.
Well, it's not $1, that's for sure.
No, it's not. Though I do know some smaller places like $1.29 that if people ever visit, I'll take them there because that's a good pizza place. But man, we met so many people. It was good to like meet surprise visits to like old friends that I've known for a while that didn't know I was gonna be there, and it was emotional moments for that. A couple of people I met recently, and
we also saw some of our old voice acting buddies like Arietta and Ayu.
Oh, I was that's what I was mentioning. The emotional moments. No, you're good. No, that's perfectly fine. Emotional moment with that. That was nice. Because we known both of them for a while, but Alice, since she was Babu, her and Vakipu, known them since they were like younger. And now they're all grown up and man,
growing up and saving the world one cosplay at a time. God, we are so old.
We're gonna make the actual older people like upset. Like you're not even 30. You just turned 30.
Back in my day.
Like at my old job, I said I was 30, and then everyone was like, Puh. Baby. I'm like, Jesus, okay. Just don't blame me because I'm not 50, 60 years old. Oh, I'm not. They better not be listening to this.
Oh, well. If they are, that's okay. You'll just get in trouble and then you'll get over it. Don't worry. No. But meeting Oni and Drew... God, meeting an Oni...
That was funny.
Meeting Oni and Drew was just... I was so happy to meet them. I've been wanting to meet them for such a long time. We've had so much fun on their streams at night. I tune in every Saturday to their streams. I followed Oni's spotlights for a while. I even told him, I'm like, before we really got off the ground, I was telling him how I was a really big fan of his and that I was almost too nervous to talk to him when we were doing our first collab. So actually getting to meet them and be able to kind of walk around and get food with them, and the one thing that I never actually expected was for how seemingly everyone just felt like when they came together, hung out like we had just hung out yesterday.
It definitely felt like we just hadn't seen each other in a while, and it was like, hey, what's going on? We instantly clicked. There wasn't really much awkwardness to be seen, really. Like I saw Ryoko hug, Soberoni hug, Drew hug.
I just hugged everybody. I'm a very huggable person. Shion apparently is so tall in real life, and apparently the first thing that I told him, I'm like, my God, you're tall.
Yep. Yeah, he is tall. He's good. He's a good one. He's a good dude. It was honestly, everyone was just so warm and welcoming. It's like.
I miss it.
Didn't G Shorter bait him almost made us both cry? I'm sitting here like,
oh G-Shorter, I'm so sorry. He was the one I was missing. I am so sorry about that, G-Shorter, if you're watching.
That man, I'm sitting here like, he's like saying some stuff, and I'm sitting here like, God, man, I can't cry. I can't cry. Oh.
But I'm going to.
Oh, a couple tears did come out that I quickly recovered. I think Shia might have saw me.
Well,
because
I mean, that's okay.
Eagle eye and stuff, but it made me want to do it again 100%. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
The FGO community is one, at least content creating wise, one big family, and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we weren't there just for, all... Oh, by the way, is my mic picking up? I just get paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I mean, we weren't just there as usual guests. We actually got approved as press for the entire convention. So there was some things we had to do, which you'll be seeing, and of course we'll probably be talking about that a little later on in the podcast. But the one thing that we did get to do as press before the dealer's room opened up is we got to be front center for the opening ceremony, which included City Council member of New York, Ben Kallos, and one of the biggest surprises, I think, to me with that opening ceremony was that a Japanese ambassador by the name of Kanji Yamanouchi was actually there to address the fans of Anime NYC, which is pretty insane when you think about it, that anime has grown to be so big that a Japanese ambassador is opening probably going to be the second biggest convention in the United States in a few years.
I mean, it already is. The first biggest is Anime Expo, and then the next one after that was Anime Matsuri at 36, and this was 46,000.
Oh god, it was so crazy how many people were there.
So big, but yeah, like I'm with you. I didn't realize how big this was until that opening ceremony, and I was like, oh, this is a big deal. Like, and I remember we talked about this when we were all eating ramen. The one thing that ambassador said that stuck with me, which felt very apt considering what we were there for, was like, you'll always be creatively stifled if you just sit still, if you stay in the same place and you don't move. Like, you're not going to be motivated like that. You have to move outside your comfort zone and do something, explore the world around you, do new things, and that will inspire you creatively to do more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty motivated right now, actually.
Yes, but at the time we were at a convention, so no videos were allowed to be worked on. We had stuff to do.
Yeah, well, it made me feel like, yeah, this is a big deal, and how important it was. And we were almost front ones. Like, there were other people there already, like ahead of us, obviously, probably ran by NYC because I saw Facebook Live and stuff. But we were right there recording it, and then like you'll see that a little bit in the vlog, at least a bit of the opening ceremony. It's a big deal. Like,
yeah,
it's only its third year too. It's so big. So many people were there, like from Aniplex and from Funimation, Viz Media, Yen Press, Good Smile Company. I can throw these company names at you all day. That's who was there. Like, even our buddy Sloan was there, and she was working for High Dive. That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, it wasn't just the Japanese ambassador that was there. The creator of Gundam, Yoshiyuki Tomino, was there, and they established Gundam Day, which is November 15th for anybody who is curious. So November 15th is officially Gundam Day in New York.
Which is so awesome. Like, even he gave it an official citation and everything. Like, that was really cool. Like, I don't know, for him, he probably, for the creator himself, he more than likely to think that it all started with just, his idea and like this drama unfolding of war, but adding in the space. Like, it's literally a space opera with mechs. And now 40 years later, here he is in New York and surrounded by people that love Gundam, that love anime, and like he's alive to see that. And it's I agree, like, anime is a way for us to bridge that culture. Like, and the one thing you'll constantly hear is that I think the people that came here from Japan for the first time were very surprised at how welcoming we were.
Yeah.
Like how like we didn't. It wasn't really weird for us. It wasn't like oh point and stare at everything else. It was just like, hey, welcome, blah blah blah, and like that's good. I want that to keep happening. I want this to keep getting bigger and bigger to where people can just come to America from Japan and be like, yeah, that's a good place to be. Like, I want that to be a thing. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just know that it was big. I felt a part of it, and it made me want to keep being a part of it.
Well, I mean, also being press, we kind of felt a little more closer to this convention because, you know, you're not just there to be a guest. It's great to have fun, but we got to actually, like, go to the floor and look at all the different mobile games. We did interviews with some of the people on the floor. We got, and am I allowed to say it now and we're going to talk about it later?
Yeah.
So we were approved for interviews with Justin Brenner. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. And we got approved to be a part of the interview and witness the interview for Rie Kugamiya's first interview in the United States, which we got that email on Friday, and we just kind of had to sit there for a minute.
Flabbergasted. I remember I just got done eating takoyaki, and I'm like, whoa. I'm so glad I checked my email right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had to turn into questions by 5 p.m., but it was like, that's amazing to me. Like, and shout out, I'm not sure if they're watching this, but to Kenya and Shelby, there will be the people who helped us out with press. Everyone that we met in that press room was so helpful and kind, and it's like, all right, guys, let's spread the word about each other. Give me your business cards. Let's exchange business cards. And
it was really cool.
It felt like even though we were there for different reasons and there for different people, we all were like it felt inspiring. Like we all had a drive to get ourselves out there.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, that all just contributed to the overall con experience. Speaking of which, I'm not too sure how many cons you've actually been to. I know YomaCon being a big one, but I mean, how does this one compare? I mean, this is a huge one. I've been to Otakon, which is big in its own right. I've been to Anime Boston, which is also a pretty big one. I would probably say this one was still bigger than those, though.
I agree. No con that I've ever been to, even Colossal Con, is bigger than this. This was huge.
But it has colossal in the name.
I mean, it's colossal in the fact it feels like a colossal pool party.
Okay.
It definitely feels that way. Everyone feels like they're having a good time in their swimsuits and cosplay. This one felt like as close to Anime Expo or like the E3 of anime, because everyone was there showing off their booth, showing off their games. Like, people were, like, even Disney had a booth there for their Code Illusion game.
Oh, yeah, they sure did.
And I was like, okay, all right, cool. Bandai Namco was there showing off One Punch Man 2 and their One Piece game. It was like...
Oh, my God, the One Piece game.
Yeah, like, and they were very eager to talk to us about the games. Like, they'd say, "Hell yeah, I'm interviewed. Here's my YouTube channel. Here's our YouTube channel," and they were very eager to let's talk about it. Let's go. Especially the Disney Code Illusion stuck out to me because we spoke to the creative manager of the game. He instantly gave us his card afterward. Name is escaping me at the moment, but I definitely will be putting it in there once the video's all put together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know his first name is Kenji, and Kenji was definitely a very big advocate of the game, and we'll go over that in the video later. But the artist alley was huge.
Oh my God, that's the biggest artist alley I've ever seen. Yeah. There was so much good artwork, and Sloan even mentioned, she's like, this place, if you want charms and you don't find what you're looking for, you're looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I walked out of there with 3 charms, one of them thanks to you. Thank you. And
the other one, thank you to the lovely NelCelestine.
And the other one, thanks to Aniplex. Thankfully, they didn't sell out. Because they were selling out a lot of stuff. But
speaking of which, we didn't actually talk about, like, I know you met Nell and Paso in the past, but it was my first time meeting them too, so it was very nice to meet members of our own group, you aside.
right.
I wasn't actually expecting them to be there until, like, the last month, but just, yeah, it was pretty surreal to meet the members of our own group and, seeing what they were really like and hanging out with them, and it was just very nice, and maybe it'll bring our group a little closer.
I agree with that. I'm there's still a couple people on this list I need to meet, like Sippy and Chloe. And I still need to meet the lovely Creed, lovely Arcee. I need to meet her. And Tristan. We gotta somehow get him a passport to get out of Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man, but though there is one thing I want to talk about with the Taylor Swift group. Was the Aniplex booth. Yeah. And how I had to make I held on to Oni's bag as we made a mad dash for the line. I'm like, I lost all those. Bye, see ya. I gotta go get this plushie.
I mean, good thing you did, because they sold out of that plushie quick. Like, I remember the first day. All right, guys, it's 2 plushie per person. Come Saturday, only 1 plushie per person.
But there was only 8 left.
I know, there's only 8 left of each of the Ku Ultra plushie and the Musashi pillow plushie. And I'm like, wow, okay.
It was great. I'm like, Oni, I am holding on to you and not letting go. And he...
I don't think they were prepared for that many people to buy 2 pillows. They were like, no one's going to do that.
They don't know. They don't know FGO fans.
I mean, I think they do, but I think it still surprises them every
I guess, but they should know better. Waifu and Laifu, come on now.
Right, but I mean, I do appreciate that the Aniplex area, the store, was right next to the USA tour area, which I finally got to see in person.
I appreciate that it was separate, just because the tour booth would have been insane. Like, you wouldn't even have been able to get to the exhibits. Speaking of which, I actually got to see that at Anime NYC, excuse me, wow. Anime Weekend Atlanta a couple weeks back, but this was your first time seeing it. Yeah. So, go on ahead and take the stage, my friend. There was more to it than I remember. Like, we didn't have Musashi's sword, because I don't think Shimosa, I think, just came out. No, we were still in the middle of Halloween.
Yeah, but Shimosa was out. Shimosa was out about that time, but it probably didn't. They probably were still making them, because
I guess so.
Because according to Albert, they made those swords just for the tour.
Yeah, so when I went to the booth, it was more centered around Halloween. There was a lot of Mecha-Liz around. Nice. So those Shimosa banners and those Shimosa pictures weren't really available at the time. We didn't get to hold Musashi's swords. We didn't get to do the Craft Essence pictures with the Excalibur Morgan. We did get to get on Kintoki's bike.
Yeah, that's crazy to me that they actually built that bike up from scratch.
I know. But what did you think? I know when I first saw that Solomon monument, I felt like the air was cold around me and my breath kind of got taken away for a second when I looked at the shield, and it was just like almost life-size. And I was just remembering that moment.
It was definitely a surreal moment. It reminded me when I first saw the cutscene in JP like 4 years ago. Actually, funny enough, close around this time. I'm like, no, not 4 years ago. More like 3. Anyway, point is, it was definitely, all of it was great. All of it. And people were very eager. Everyone around that booth was very eager. Like, hey, you want to hold the swords? You want to get on the bike? I take a picture for you and everything else. Like, they were definitely eager to have people come around. And, like, Shimosa is one of my favorite lost belts.
It's not a lost belt. It's an Epic of Remnant, you goober.
Yes. Epic of Remnant. To me, I always call it like the prototype lost belt, because it literally is a parallel world, and everything that happens there actually does not affect our timeline.
Spoiler, because I haven't even gotten that far. I'm only past the first fight.
Well, they tell you that pretty early on. I mean, even when you start the game, like start up the chapter, it's about to say Epic of Remnant, and then it switches to a parallel world. I'm like,
oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you just trying to justify that you're talking about spoilers and spoiling me?
I mean, essentially, but it is there.
Okay.
It is there in the beginning.
Okay.
But,
well, you Mr. Spoil Sport.
Uh,
You're a spoil sport. I mean, there's no way around it. You ruiner of spoilers.
let's see. I'm a
You
fine.
Karna stealer.
I am a fine savant of spoilers, especially on cars.
No, I said Karna stealer.
Yeah, car spoilers.
I don't get it.
Yeah, like on the car, like Fast and Furious or Initial D.
No. Oh God. Really? I don't know. I don't know cars enough to know that. All I know is that it gets me to work and the steering wheel steers and other basic functions of a car. I'm not gonna know that.
But you could drift.
I don't care.
But yeah, no, the booth was great. And it was nice to actually speak with Albert face to face. He didn't shy away from me. And the first day he did, but it was a really busy day, so I understand.
Oh yeah,
that.
For sure.
But after that, he stood by, talked to the translator there.
You didn't even know it was Albert at first that you were speaking to, did you?
The very first time, no, because he was very casual, and they all wear that red staff outfit, like the jacket. So okay, he just wears the staff. And then when I heard his voice, I turned, I saw the hat, and I'm like, that's Albert. Oh, shit.
You were talking to Albert the whole time. He was in disguise.
Yep. So I made it really quick, and I let him. I know he had to go check some stuff out, so I let him do that. And then I went to try and go in that long line that like weaved and snaked around several other places.
Are you talking about the Aniplex booth?
Yep. And then only to come back, say like, oh yeah, come back in 3 hours. I'm like, oh.
I mean, they gave us tickets, and Oni and I were just like, forget it. We're just going to go. Oh, and Ryoko. I'm so sorry, Ryoko. You were there with us, too. Yeah. We all just said, let's just go. I mean, they let us in, so it wasn't like we had to be turned away. There was still room in that little velvet carpet area.
Yeah,
so
once you were in, you were in. But for us, they were like, nope, sorry, come back in 3 hours.
I had a mission, and that was to get Shion his Musashi plushie.
And he enjoyed it.
And to get my Mini Ku plushie.
And it's so soft. Both of them are so soft.
Oh yeah, no. Mini Ku is right here along with the bear that the lovely NelCelestine got for me that I love so much. Thank you, Nel. Mwah.
Very adorable. Very adorable.
I mean, we got a little bit of when you were speaking to the translation team, especially Jesus Kun. We got to like actually talk in depth about how maybe a little bit how the translation process works, but I thought it was interesting when he was talking about like his favorite parts and what he wrote and how he just kind of how he thinks about certain characters that he translated. Like Jesus Kun was responsible for translating King Hassan. He's like, oh, I had a degree in this old English kind of language, so I'm glad I get to put it to use somewhere.
Yeah, and I, as someone who voices Gramps, it was definitely nice to see it so accurately translated. And I will say, before we get this in the comments, because I know I've seen this in the past, it isn't. I am not sure if he is the one that did Asaka Behemoth's translation.
Yeah, we didn't ask.
Like, we didn't ask. That was not on the topic of discussion, because honestly, I can care less at this point. It happened, and you just gotta let it go and move forward, because it is there. We're done. But I mean, for me, hearing his take on the process, and just thinking about when this game started in North America and how Aniplex themselves has learned and like grown and over time, like you can tell they definitely are listening to feedback. Like, even though they may be slow with it, but when you have a big ship, it takes a long time to turn. Like, you can't expect changes to come as quickly especially when you're dealing with a corporation and you're dealing with a product that comes straight from Japan. Like, a lot of their hands are tied, and
they have to answer to Japan for a lot of things too. I mean, Albert even mentioned that in basically like, I don't know, one of those FGO panels where he was just kind of doing an update on, on the game itself.
Pretty much early on, he would answer that. Like, look, there's certain things I can't say. I have an agreement. I can't say certain things. Like, and yeah, you can't. It's actually against the rules. But for me, they've grown from each endeavor, and not only has like the game start to flourish a little bit, Albert's gotten a lot better at to me becoming the face of NA in a way, at least from the Aniplex side of things. And I told this to him, and it's just like, you are kind of the face of it. You're the one who always comes up to the panels. If there's a live stream, you're always the one there. So when people think of FGO aside from the fact of seeing their favorite servants and maybe some of their favorite content creators, they think of you. There's
his response to that.
Oh yeah, the fact that I've told him, like, yeah, he's pretty much like that. If FGO did something for FGO it'd probably be you be the one to give it to him. It's like, oh no, I don't know about that. I'm like, oh, I do. He's gotten a lot better. If people will go back and see some of the early times where Albert was actually just behind the screen and it was these other two people, and then slowly to see him be thrusted upon and say, all right, you're the face now. And he's done a good job. The translation team is doing a great job, honestly. And I get it. They might, to some of you people, to some of the fans, they might miss the mark sometimes, and that's okay. If you don't like how certain things go, you have the right to that opinion. I'm not saying you don't. Just try to see it from their point of view. Have some empathy and don't bash on them. Like, I'm pretty sure if they had things their way, they would definitely give you the exact thing that you're asking for. But, you know, unfortunately, life isn't like that, and they're doing the best they can with what they have. So I, for one, appreciate what they're doing, because without them, I wouldn't be able to play this game in English, and I've been waiting to play this game in English for a while.
This channel wouldn't even exist, really.
Nope, it certainly would not, because
it would be tougher to do content on a Japanese-only game when we're getting the information right as they're getting it.
Exactly. Even now, like, I try to do a little bit of Japanese updates, and I was contemplating doing one for the fact that they have a Fate Prototypes drama CD event going on.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they have a drama CD, and they have, like, rate-ups for Arthur.
That's so cool. What about Ozzy? Oh, yeah. Okay. But what about Ozzy?
It's Merlin. But no, then Arash, Harsana Serenity, and Hohenheim, they're all there.
My boy Arash going to be on a banner. Awesome.
I think he's his. Yeah, he is. Cool.
Oh, he's in Prototype, but I was like, my boy Arash finally getting the love he deserves. 5-star Arash petition.
He definitely needs a 5-star. But in either case, I was thinking about doing that, but it is a little bit more difficult because I'm learning information secondhand, and I'm having to try and find the accurate translation so I can be able to say it. I mean, contrary to popular belief, like, we all the YouTubers use Wiki. we don't pull this from the ether.
What? Are you sure, Moo?
I think it's safe to say that is the case.
Okay.
But yeah, regardless, I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but I'm very passionate about it because, you know, this game means a lot to me. G&A reviews, Evil Joggin, Deku were some of the people that inspired me to do it. But if, like you said earlier, if Aniplex hadn't got the okay to bring it over to North America, this channel wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. So, you know, I'm just thankful for their hard work, and I'll be raising their banner when I can.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, now that we're on the subject of the translation team, what did you think of the panel itself? We got separated because I decided, I gotta go meet this friend because, the problem is that I told her we would be back at a certain time, and she's like, oh, okay, well, I'll meet you at this panel, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then she texted me, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta get over to there. So that's initially why I even went over there in the first place instead of staying in line. It ended up working out because I got to meet Chibi Tifa that way.
Yeah, indeed.
So basically, got a call, and, like, Moo's like, yeah, they're not letting people cut in line. I'm like, well, I kind of figured that would be the case, but good to know. So we went all the way back to the back of the line, got to see Drew in his skirt cosplay.
Oh my God.
It was great. He came back to say hi. I got to tell Oni I was disappointed in him for not coming to meet me himself, which was great, but that's okay. You know what, Oni? You keep rocking that cosplay, and don't ever let anybody tell you aren't beautiful.
I wish I took a picture of that, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, that's perfect with the height difference and everything. Yeah. It was like spot on.
So, I mean, despite the fact that we were kind of closer to the back of the line, Considering that there was like two or three sections of people that were already closed off for this thing. We were in the back, kind of past the cafe area into that hallway. I mean, we still got a really good seat. We actually kind of got close to the left front over where Sloan was.
It was really surprising to me to be like, they're being like very restrictive who can come in, but we go in and it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just wanted to regulate it because of a fire hazard. I mean, it is kind of a big event. You did see the lanyards. The lanyards were all about the FGO tour. So
man, it was kind of nuts.
Yeah. So I was not sitting with you. I was sitting with Shion and Tifa. I want to know your reaction to Aoyuki coming out to Okita's summoning lines.
Oh, you can ask Ryoko about that one, but for me, it was like.
Did you scream your head off?
I was screaming my hair off for a lot of stuff, and then to see how she was so happy and.
Oh my God,
took
Aoyuki
to the stage so easily. Like Rumi was a little bit shocked, like, oh wow, this is a lot of people. Oh, Aoyuki was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Get out there.
Shion and I were debating on who she was actually going to come out to, but when we were thinking about it with the missing banner, we had a feeling it was going to be Okita. As I know you were happy to see Okita, but I would have loved to hear her play the ASMR Oni live. I'm sorry.
She did do a couple. She did a line or two.
Yeah, she did. She did, but she didn't talk long enough for me to enjoy it, Moo.
Well, I mean, Rumi certainly enjoyed it, or rather.
Oh my God, she sure did.
The Stoffel beat did.
God.
Saying like, oh yes, sometimes I purposely let her get hit so I can hear it.
That's so funny that she wants to hear herself moan.
Rumi was the one that said that. Actually.
Oh really? Oh, yeah. I thought that was Aoi.
No, Rumi told her that. And she's like, wow, that is a good strategy. And then Albert was like, what are you talking about? It's not like you can just go to the Ember gatherings on the lowest one and then just let her get hit. You'll be there for a while. And then, and they were like, oh, so you do that. No, I don't do that. What are you talking?
I loved Albert's reaction when they went on the tangents. So you were probably smack dab in the middle from what my understanding is, right?
I was in the middle, probably about maybe 10 rows.
So we couldn't actually really see Albert that well, which made it better because we kind of had to defer to the screen over on our left. And sometimes after they were like fangirling, it would pan out, and you suddenly just see his reaction. And just seeing his reaction to some of what they talk about is hilarious to me because he's just like, yeah, I don't know what to say here, but it is funny that he admitted that he would want to be Gilgamesh's backup chair.
Yeah, because, Rumi's wanted to be the main chair. Seimu.
I mean, so do I.
Seimu.
I mean, I want to be the main chair. Anyway, this is supposed to be a podcast, not about my fangirl tendencies for Gilgamesh.
Boy. Are you sure not about Karna, like Aoyuki?
Oh my God.
They felt like us. They felt like us. The fact that they all had a line group, like with Arash's voice actor and several other people, and she's
poor Daki. He gets most of my pictures, most of the yaoi posts. I mean, he gets it all, and he's like, he takes it in such stride. I don't know how he does it. Shout out to you, my little son.
I get sent a lot of Okita pictures from several people, and I'm like, nice, or I have that one, or oh, that's dangerous. Because obviously, there's another Okita coming down the pipeline, so it's been getting a lot of mixed.
Spoilers, Moo.
I didn't say which one.
You were totally going to say giant Okita.
Yeah, I totally was going to say Caster Okita.
Giant Okita that towers in the sky who is a berserker. What?
Yeah, her wand is a dango.
God.
But no, the panel was absolutely amazing from start to finish. I felt like we were just chilling, relaxing in the room with everybody. Albert, that's what I mean when Albert's coming to his own. He was definitely a part. The translator too. It's like it wouldn't have worked if one of those people was like straight lace and like unmoving professional. Everyone felt so casual and like they weren't afraid to talk about some stuff or do some things, and it's just like I appreciate it because as Tristan, I told Tristan, it's like, what? Oh my God, they're human. It's like, yeah, I know that, obviously, but to me, the most important part is that it feels like they're all players of the game in some way, shape, or form.
Especially Rumi.
Yeah, Rumi definitely was, where she was like, actually, in Japan, we call it golden apple or rainbow apples. I'm like, she's one of us. She knows the words. And
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually surprised at how the panel went because I was of the opinion with how big the crowd was going to be. Because, like I said, I went to the Anime Weekend Atlanta tour panel. So we, it was a lot smaller, obviously. And we, it was a smaller room. So there was a smaller crowd. It was very, very personal. It was on a personal level. We didn't have a translator. And the guest that we had was Yu Asakawa, the voice of Anna and Medusa and Gorgon and Uriel and Seno. And so basically there was no translator up there because Yu Asakawa can speak very, very good English. Like, she can hold a conversation. She would actually speak Japanese just to kind of troll Albert into being a translator.
Yeah, that was cute.
It was just her and Albert up on the stage kind of talking to us about her experience and how she almost thought she got in trouble in customs, but that's going to be another story for a stream that I'll hold off.
Oh, man.
But it was just very personal. Like, they were very engaging with the audience. And while I wouldn't say that Aoyuki and Rumi and Albert were as engaging as they were at Atlanta, I didn't feel any less out of the loop because it was just fun watching her and Rumi fangirl over husbandos and then Albert just giving the funny look. So it was just as personal as the Anime Week in Atlanta one, which is a lot smaller, and they managed to make it into such a personal panel with a bigger group of people. I was pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt way more natural. Like, it felt like, they had a plan, but because they got so excited, they just started going off the rails, and felt bad for a second for the translator because I think they were going back and forth for like 3 minutes, and they weren't stopping. And then afterward, they turned to the translator and was like, sorry. And I'm like, oh boy, that's a lot to say. But, I mean, and then of course they dropped the news on everything we're getting, and some stuff I was surprised. Like, for one, the Astolfo casual outfit.
I can't wait. I'm actually waiting for that to pop so I can put him in it.
At the time of this recording.
I am waiting for it so I can put my Astolfo in that outfit.
Oh boy! Like, and then, obviously those Thanksgiving banners that I told people about. I knew Okita was going to be on it, 100%. I'm like, Okita has to be on this banner. No way, and she was, which is why I'm rolling tomorrow. I
know you addressed it in your video earlier, the fact that wasn't it the writer of the Lost Belts? Is that who addressed us at the end of the panel?
Who's in charge
to kind of
Yeah, he's in charge of Arc 2. He's the director of Arc 2. So it was a pre-made video that they were made for us as a finale for the USA tour and as a thank you. And this is what I knew. I was like, this is a big deal.
I actually thought they were going to announce Lost Belts early.
I mean,
as soon as they said Scenario 2, I thought they were going to hint at something with the Lost Belts. Maybe not announce them early, but actually just kind of hint that they're coming because, guys, they are coming. It is coming at the end of next month.
And that's probably why they're not going to do it. They don't want to rob themselves of that story. But for me, I see him on Japanese streams.
So, as do I.
His name is Yosuke Shiwakawa, I believe his name is. I could be 100% wrong. If I am, I'm so sorry.
You can correct us in the comments. Musaki is allowing it, and as am I.
Oh, no. Sorry. It is Yoshiki Kano. There it is.
Oh, I mean, you weren't too far off, but you were still wrong.
Yeah, I was. I was confused the directors for the producer. Because the producer switched up. But anyway, he spoke to us directly. And he was like, thank you so much for enjoying this game. So I have 2 presents for you. The first, that he shows off Okita Noble Phantasm and Elizabeth's Noble Phantasm. I was thinking, wow, animation updates? Did we get these? And then Cold was like, yes, Noble Phantasms will have subtitles now. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, registered, they had subtitles. I was like, oh, that wasn't for the video? That was in the game? It's like, yeah. And for the second gift, what? 30 Saint Quartz. Ah! And this will be happening today. What?
Yeah.
And it was, and then I don't know.
Now we get to know what they're actually saying.
Indeed, and for me, like hearing everyone in the crowd chant USA, that was that was a moment. I'm like, man, even Aoyuki and Rumi are getting in on this.
It kind of makes you wonder, you know, if they'll translate the level up in the Ascension line, so that way you can understand them instead of having to go to the My Room and to the voice box on the servant profile. Maybe we'll be getting that down the line, so we can actually have that too.
I think so too. I think that is something that they're planning on. I think they mainly wanted to see the reception to see how this would work. For all the people saying like, oh, why don't we have all of it now? I mean, this takes time. This is stuff that JP is like taking time away from making their next story chapter to add for us specifically. No other Fate Grand Order server has this but the NA server. So that's like be thankful that they even took the time to do that, because they could have been like, yeah, F it, whatever. They got the lines and once they select the character, they'll be fine. They've done a lot of those concessions like that, like the fact that we now get to understand what they're saying in the store, because before we didn't, and they added that text box. Granted, the text is huge, but at least we get to see it finally. Yeah, it's true. Though I will say, I will give them something, is that I think we were a bit concerned about the Solomon part back when Solomon was happening, where... Yeah, they did it during the actual Singularity, but there was a bit of concern, especially on Musaki's part, I remember, that we weren't going to actually get the translation for Solomon's Noble Phantasm. You only see it once. So... And that was nice that they finally did that. I was pleasantly surprised. So all in all, that panel... was amazing. It was amazing, and if anyone can have a chance to actually see it. I wish I could have streamed it, but there's a very strict no streaming of this, and I kind of see why. It's like, it's very personal. Like, I do kind of wish they would have streamed it for the viewers on Twitch like they do AX, but I think they did that so it could be like a kind of you got to be there type of situation. I guess, but at the same time, there are people who can't make the trip. We just happen to be fortunate enough to do it. I totally understand that. I get both sides of it, and I wish I could have streamed it too, but unfortunately, I didn't do that. We just, couldn't risk getting kicked out. No, because they were like saying, you get your phone out. Like, so those shots you see on Reddit, be thankful to those people because they snuck those in. Yeah, they risked getting thrown out because there were people walking up and down the aisles. Yeah, it was kind of scary a little bit. I was like, I'm not messing around with this. I'm not trying to get kicked out. So, but anyway, I mean, panel was fantastic. I was already thinking about wanting to come back next year. That panel made me for sure want to come back next year. Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, just to experience the convention again and just be around so many anime fans. I mean, speaking of which, I know we said we were going to bring this up later down the line. I think it's a good idea. The interviews with Justin Brenner and Rie Kugamiya. Wow, I don't actually really know where to start with these because, I don't know, just being able to actually do it was just the most surreal thing. This was my first time ever. This was my first time actually doing anything in terms of an interview. Right. And there is going to be an interview going up. It'll probably be up by the time this podcast comes out. My professional interview with the Shotgun Shogun. And I mean, Paso-kan even commented that it seemed extremely good, but I don't think she would have guessed that it would have been my first time interviewing someone. I was really, really nervous going into these interviews, like so much so that I told Musaki I didn't even want to be on the camera. Yeah, and that slowly but surely unfurled itself. Because, I don't know, that Justin Brenner interview was very surreal in a way. Because, like you, this is kind of... I may have some experience with public speaking, and I took some acting classes, so I'm used to talking in front of people. But for this, where it's like, there is no grade on the line. I'm along with you. We're representing Chaldea Gurus, interviewing a voice actor in his roles, surrounded by press. Like, he has cameras and microphones pointed at him, and we're in this room, and it's just us. And, like, it felt like a big moment, and the press, I mean, honestly, other people in press were very friendly, and
we just kind of played off each other.
Yeah.
And you'll see that in the video. We don't want to spoil too much from the interview because that's going to be a whole video on its own, but it was pretty amazing. Like, Justin is an absolute sweetheart, and you can definitely tell he's thankful to be in the position he's in. He's playing characters like Deku from Boku no Hero Academy. One of his first roles was from Owari no Seraph as Mika, the blonde vampire. I mean, he even he didn't mention it because he didn't talk about it, but I don't know if you're familiar with a show called Drifters.
I am.
He played the androgynous little ninja guy so he played him, and on top of that, I didn't even know he played Yukito and Yue for Cardcaptor Sakura, so that was an eye-opener to me. But all the details about Justin and the interview is going to be up at a later date, probably Friday, I think, is when we're going to upload that. Moving on to the Rie interview. Oh, God, it was
night and day difference.
Yeah, it was a night and day difference, but just
still pleasant.
Yeah, it was very pleasant. It was very personal. Being in the same room as someone who's so big in the anime industry, so much so that her tickets for her autographs sold out in 5 minutes.
And they were really expensive too. They went quick.
Yeah, it was a bit different because obviously English is not her first language. I don't really know if she can speak it, but she did have a translator, so there was probably maybe 15 of us in the room, I think. A
translator that also was a voice actress for many fighting games that made me geek out a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool. And she was so motherly. It was actually kind of amazing, how motherly. I just sat there staring at her, and I was like, you are just the most motherly person I've ever seen do an interview with someone. But we couldn't speak the questions because obviously we couldn't talk Japanese. So the questions were predetermined. And we found out later why that was, because we were confused on why a lot of our questions actually got... Yeah, they didn't make it. So there's a big night and day difference with Justin Brenner and Rie Kugamiya in terms of the interview process even. We weren't allowed to videotape it, so unfortunately for those who were looking forward to seeing a video of it, we don't have that, but we do have audio, and we were able to put the phones right up next to them so you could hear her. Now, granted, it sounds really good, but at the same time, you also have to keep in mind we had to do what we had to do in order to be able to do this. The questions were predetermined for a very interesting reason, I thought, because unlike Aoyuki and Rumi, and she was invited as herself. She wasn't invited as a guest like they were for Fate Grand Order. So she's very limited to what she can talk about because she's selling herself as a brand. Our questions, if we were talking about a specific character, were denied simply because if she were to favor a role over another while going somewhere as herself, apparently people in Japan kind of hold that in a real high regard, and it could actually upset people, could get her in trouble with her company. So that was interesting to find out. What stood out to you?
Definitely, for me, it was a warm experience, whereas Justin Brenner was very, if I could kind of describe it, it was a bright, very bright, fresh air, exciting. This one was calm and welcoming and warm. I get that motherly feeling from the translator. And it kind of translated into how Rie spoke. Obviously she has a very high voice anyway and very pleasant to listen to. But her answers, that she was giving, were very poetic in a way. Not gonna spoil too much, but she does answer something to the effect of, techniques that voice actors can use, and is the purity of the self, purity of the emotions. And I'm like, man, this is some sagely things, and I can just sit here and listen to her talk about stuff all day.
This was her first time in America too, so to be in the room for one of her first interviews was an honor. I am very happy to have been a part of it.
Especially because, you know, she was running late, but she signed every single one of those people's who bought a ticket to get her autograph.
I would hope so, considering how much they were.
I understand that, but there's times where people are like, nope, you got to cut it. You got to go. But,
we also found out she wanted to talk to all of them too, which made it even better. But I would hope she would sign every single one for how much those tickets were going for. But it's like she took time, apparently. Like, everybody who met her said that she took time to actually talk to them, and you know, her reaction when she came into the room of applause was just priceless.
Yeah, she looked genuinely happy and surprised that we did that. She probably thought it would be very stiff after, you know, being in a panel and then doing the autograph session, and to get like welcomed in with applause and say, generally happy. And I mean, I guess for me, back to the autograph thing, remind me of Todd Hapricorn, who I actually in Youmacon one of the years. He was giving, no, it wasn't Youmacon, it was Shudokan. He was there at, and he was sick actually, and but it was told like, you got to be somewhere. It's like, no, there are people in this line still. I want to make sure I sign everyone's picture. I want to make sure I autograph everything and do everything while they're here. I'm not going to make them wait and then say, oh, maybe next time, and then miss it. And I'm like, that was really nice. You didn't have to do that. So like some of his autographs, like, he has stuff that you could buy. So of course he wants to make the money. But for me, it felt more. It wasn't about the money. It's about the fact that all these people are in this line. They've been waiting to see me, and I want to make sure I make them happy. Like, that's all he cared about, and I kind of get that from Rie. She wanted to make sure that that she didn't get many face-to-face interactions with her fans. She wanted to make sure that the fans that are with her enjoy that experience, and you know, I'm sure she was touched by the outcry and the love that she received. Yeah.
We found out before she came in the room that she had been going nonstop, and she didn't even look like she was slowing down. We were actually worried about her. Like, everybody in the room was like, does she need to rest or something? And the translator's like, no, she's absolutely fine. But it was just like, everybody was worried about her because we didn't want her to, like,
wear herself down. But, you know, she definitely was fine, and you know, hopefully, I'm pretty sure she got herself some good rest after everything was said and done. But I'm glad that she enjoyed herself, and was a learning experience. So next time we do interviews, one, I'm going to have to get myself a microphone that I can bring, and we're probably going to invest into a laptop at some point. But like, because I want to do this again. I want to do press again. And
same.
Not just not just for Anime NYC, but for other cons like Youmacon. And I know you got Anime Week in Atlanta. And I know we got people close to Anime Boston, and then
they can do Anime Boston.
I know Anime Frontiers in Texas, so we got people there. So it's like it makes me want to keep doing that, and like, you know, Chaldea, I just it's a positive step in the right direction, and I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to do it again. We are coming back. Well, it's in the works. Hopefully we can make it back next year, and that's just all we gotta hope for at the end of the day, because, you know, we have friends we gotta see again. I mean, that's first and foremost.
Yeah, even channel stuff aside, the best part was finally being able to meet you in person. We've been friends for so long, so it was nice to be able to hang out with you, and it honestly just feels like Discord, but real life. That's all it was. It didn't feel any different to me whatsoever. And especially Shion now I feel like I've gotten a lot closer to.
My boy, the man, the myth, the legend, our Bigfoot buddy, our Pablo finding buddy.
Pablo!
That's a story for a stream.
Oh, it definitely is, man. But yeah, thank you to everyone that came up to see us too, because I mean, I got recognized real quick, and I'll explain that on the stream tomorrow. But thank you to everyone we met. We didn't say your name. I'm so sorry. It was literally quite a lot of people that we met.
We were nonstop all the days we were there. Like, even the days of the convention, we were constantly moving and moving and moving,
and, yep.
getting ready for the press stuff, finding the press stuff, exploring Times Square, being a tourist, as Drew liked to call it. Like, he's like, there was many times in the back where you're like, oh, Xion and Nina and everybody are just being tourists. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed the area, and it was.
I love you, Drew.
Yep, meeting Morag and then Mark, everyone.
Yeah, I love all of them. Oh, Mayor, Byrne, even though I didn't really get to see much of you.
That was a good time, guys, and you know, this is wonderful. We're definitely doing this more. But yeah, I think that's about really it that we can talk about. Everything else will go into details in the streams, but
yeah, we'll go over the Konosuba. We'll go over the Konosuba movie in the stream because that was one thing we forgot to talk about when talking about our friends.
Oh boy, no, that's gonna be fun. But man, I mean, thank you for the guys, for everyone listening. Thanks so much for sticking with us. We're at an hour here.
Man, they listened to two lamers talk about conventions for an hour.
Man, wow, they must be that. Wow.
They're Butamin?
They're Butamin sugar cookies. Because I love sugar cookies.
Okay.
I love sugar cookies. Especially the one without the frosting and they're soft.
Especially the Butamin ones?
Like those warm cookies in that hotel.
Oh my god, warm cookies. Anyway, I guess we'll sign off here because like you said, it's going on an hour and yeah, well, like I said, Anime NYC, very fun time. Look forward to more footage. I think Moo is putting a video montage together. He's trying to figure out how he wants to do it. He's being uber picky about it. There's going to be an interview that's probably going to be out by the time we get finished with this, but an interview, sidewalk interview with the Shotgun Shogun. Look forward to the interview with Justin Brenn coming out on Friday. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not much. We can go ahead and finish this up.
All right. Well, I'll let you do the honors. I started. You finish.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for watching and listening, because people do both. My name is Musaki, and this is...
I am Nina.
From the Chaldea Gurus, and we are logging out.
Peace.
See ya.
Pablo!
Pablo!